Hey, Stay. How's it going?
Hi, it's going well, enjoying a nice London evening. How about
Nice.
you?
Pretty quiet morning. Uh, my wife's reading Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which I read just a couple months ago. So we were just having a fun discussion about that one. It's yeah, one of the better books I've read in the last year. I really liked it.
Okay, what is it about? I seen it in the feed actually. I think
Yeah,
I even liked that you read it. I like the cover.
it has a really cool cover.
Yeah.
Uh, it's mostly about these two video game designers, developers, like people who create video games in different roles, and kind of their entangled lives as they grew as creative professionals over the course of their life, from being kids that played video games to being adults that create video games.
Wow. Okay, that sounds interesting. Yeah, it got me hooked.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
definitely a fun one.
Yeah, yeah, and I can relate. I mean, if I wasn't a designer, one of the alternative careers I'd have would probably be like a game developer or designer.
Yeah. Did when you were a kid, was there like a creative outlet that you had that like carried over into adulthood?
Well, just drawing, I guess, which turned into design. But I actually contributed to some like early Steam games. My brother, he had a friend who made Steam games, and I did some like assets because I drew. And yeah, they actually got turned into what was his name? It was a pretty neat game, and it was like mildly successful for him, not for me. But yeah,
Oh, that's
I
cool.
guess that was it. How about you?
Uh, I think for me, it was just like creating websites, just like, um, basic HTML, CSS, and a little bit of like PHP and MySQL. Like, I created a Dance Dance Revolution fan site, which ended up getting like pretty popular at the time. And that was like my first like community organized website.
Okay, wow, listen to that. That's pretty nice to hear. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, this week's just getting started. So we'll see how the week goes. But yeah, what uh, what kind of hardcover stuff have you been up to?
Well, I'm busy revamping the whole structure, the Figma files, and we can quickly go over that because it might be interesting for the feed. Even for like to give the listener some context, even for a small startup like ours, uh, to move fast, you need to get from design to development uh, really quick. And at some point where stuff piles up and the app evolves, there's a lot of like load in terms of like content that has to be synced between what the app is and what the designs are. So right now there's a bit of a let's say how should I call it, a bit of disconnect between what hardcover looks like live and what it looks like in Figma. And it's been working out good for us because we've been syncing okay on the designs, but I just want to give it a bit more clarity. So redoing everything with components and yeah, what I showed you. So it's basically that, and working on some new stuff because the apps are out, and we are now looking to push features that improve the overall experience by a lot. So we've got search on our plate, we've got book editing, we've got the book page, and a couple of other stuff. But yeah, these are the, let's say, high priority ones. Yeah. How
Nice.
about you?
Yeah, having those Figma pages organized with components, and then implementing those components will make the dev side a ton easier for sure.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah. Um, for me, um, I rolled out like a really big like database and like structural change to the background to the back end. Like I actually rolled it out like the day before or 2 days before I left for my vacation, and then it had some bugs that like came out during the vacation. So I was like doing that in the morning and then like going off and doing the rest of my vacation, then coming back. It's kind of a good reminder to not to deploy major changes right before vacation. But luckily nothing nothing big broke, or any big things that broke were easy fixes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because I noticed you fixed some stuff while you were in Vegas, and that was okay. I hope like Adam is not waking up at 6 a.m. after a hard night to fix database problems. But I don't know, maybe I don't know. Was that
Nothing.
happening?
No, I wasn't waking up early. It was more like while my wife was getting ready for the day in the bathroom, I would like jump on my laptop and fix a couple bugs.
Okay, that's
So
good. That's good. So it wasn't, that high impact, I guess.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
been working well. I mean, apart from a few people who have reached out via the feedback channel on Discord, yeah, I think it was all good.
yeah. And then yeah, like you said, kind of planning out what we work on the next couple months, and yeah, a couple redesign pages around search and the book page, and some research around authors and around like goals and gamification, motivation. I'd consider it like motivation research. It's like
Hmm.
how do we motivate people to read more? Because that's I feel like that's kind of the most important thing. It's not about engagement on hardcover. It's like how do we help people read more?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really, I mean, that's a shift I definitely like agree with. There are those people that it's like a sport. There are the athletes who like find running really easily because they've been doing that a lot, and there are the people who like are struggling to like keep up a habit of like running around the block and sprinting. And I think up until this point we've built lots of features for the athletes, people who like do that kind of stuff. So a bit of focus on helping the people who aren't athletes, or let's jump back to readers. Read more.
Yeah.
That's definitely something cool, because I think there's lots of like space for improvement. I've seen like lots of people who like really want to get into reading, but there's all sorts of like hurdles, mainly personal hurdles related to habits, but also related to how they discover what to read, or how they uh, find, let's say, social incentives, like having a friend read the same thing, or having a recommendation so they can talk about a book with one of their friends. Yeah, I think that's gonna be like really fun to dig into.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that athlete analysis or analogy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like the same way. We've definitely been building for people who already have like structures and systems in place for how they read, but like building up those systems to where you have that place where you store all the books you want to read, where you're coming back to that, where you're keeping track of it, where you're um, you know you're able to say like here are some of my favorite books, or here are some of the books I'm most excited to read. Just getting to that step, you know kind of like running, it takes time just to get to that step. That's not the starting point. That's like you know 2 kilometers in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a process, and for reading in particular, I mean, like as we realized, it's a different kind of activity than others. uh, it has different, like, let's say, sides to it. People can be like social about it, or they can be um, yeah, they can do lots of stuff. Some people like to track their reading. You shared that really good analysis from what was it from?
Literal.
No, I think it was from. Wait, I signed up for an account, but I forgot what it was. The one you shared on Discord. It wasn't literal. It was. I closed my Discord anyway. But that analysis
Oh
said
yeah,
that.
italic type.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was it. 77% of readers track stuff while they're reading and would want to discuss things while they're reading, and about 90, it was like over 90% would like to like discuss and uh, rate or review a book after they've read it. Those are probably like a little bit on the optimistic side. Maybe they interviewed like lots of power readers, because that sounds like power reader like behavior. But that's like, yeah, I mean, people would do it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It's special. Like I feel like that's one of those things that how how we work that into the like the flow of how a user reads is going to impact how it happens. Because like if you're if you're in the middle of reading a book, this is kind of my hypothesis about it all.
Yeah.
If you're in the middle of reading a book and you like you're 30% in and you want to discuss it with other people, like there's a couple different routes. There's like you go to like a forum about the book, subreddit, whatever, discussion page about the book, and then you're talking with everyone who's read the book regardless of how far along they are. So you're going to be, avoiding spoilers, but you might want to discuss the parts that you've read, and it's going to be a minefield. um, alternately you can like post about where you are so far, and maybe some people will reply, but how you get people to reply that have also read the book and have a awareness of how far you are into the book, um, makes it difficult to have like an engaging discussion, especially online. Like when I feel like when I'm talking with someone in person, I can very quickly we can have a discussion. I can figure
Yeah.
out where they are in the book, and then I know not to talk about things that happen after that.
Hmm.
But how we enable that online, I don't feel like anyone's really done that yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of all or nothing.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's doable, I guess. I mean, we've like chipped a bit at it, and I think there's like a way of doing it. Uh, it's I can relate. It's way easier in person. Kind of like if you talk with someone about a series you're watching. Series are also like things you watch over a bigger span of time. You can watch a series over, I don't know, if it's The Wire, you can watch it in like, I don't know, 2 months. So depending on where you are, you can talk about that moment with someone similar to what like you do with a book. So yeah, it's a long span, in which there are like many moments. It's not like watching a movie. You're watching a movie 2 hours in, okay, you know all about it. You're probably like, movies are really different
Yeah,
than books in general. It's like a more complex experience, I guess.
there was a there was something I did on my last personal blog. I had this like course platform on it to teach people how to invest, and I added this functionality to be able to review the courses. And when I added something where when someone reviewed the course, it would track how far along they had made it in the course at the time they reviewed it, and showed that to people, so they could say, this person rated it X stars and they were 100% done with the course when they rated it. And
Okay.
that's going to have like different impact than someone who rates it a different thing and has only made it 30% of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It's
really smart. That's
it,
nice.
it's kind of like it almost feels like discussions need like something like that, where it's like this person at the time they wrote this comment, they were this far completed in the book.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good one. It needs that kind of timestamp, and you need to, be presented with that timestamp, I guess, depending on where you are with your progress. So if you're at page like 100 out of 300, like 30% done with a book, uh, maybe you'd like to see like the bits that are from people that are in the same place as you are at that time, and maybe then all the others, uh, depending on how do you want to filter them. So yeah, there's definitely like a way of doing it, and I'm guessing it's interesting, to see that, uh, mainly because like you'd want to find similar people who are reading the same books, maybe even at the same time. That's what happens, I guess, on book Twitter, where people make recommendations, but it's mostly the books they're reading about, I guess, but there's no like functionality related to tracking. So mm, digging down that you know well of users who are similar to what you'd aspire to, like how you'd want to build your book taste, I think is going to be like really really interesting, and to see them real time, so you wouldn't see like on Reddit some kind of comment that's left by someone 5 years ago. You'd be able to see the more recent ones first by default. So yeah, that could be really neat. I mean, we should be digging into it more in parallel to everything else we're doing, and maybe we can like give a glimpse of what we're doing with the book page, um, if you think
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. Want to jump into some Figma for all of that?
Yeah, of course. Let me share my screen over here. So I'll just share the entire thing. Okay, here we go. So, not here. Let's go here. This is the new book page that we're working on. See, this is the new Figma file. Uh, it's got everything in here. I've made like a small documentation for the other people in the team, for Eugene, for uh,
Mhm.
we've got a new member in the team, by the way, Lily. She's like how many weeks in? 3 weeks in?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, by her, by Mariana and Alicia. And this is supposed to, provide really simple guidance to how these screens are, what their status is. So if it doesn't have a line, it's basically live. So this is our feed. It's pretty similar to what's going on the website with slightly different details. So yeah, this is work in progress. This is the new book page, and we've been chipping away at it for the past, I think, 3 weeks, and starting to really yeah come together.
Hmm.
um, I've worked based on most of your comments, Adam. Maybe wait, how do you hide comments? Here we go. Um,
Yeah. I hope I didn't leave too many of them. I was.
no, that's perfect. Yeah, I mean, I liked the detail and it was really good. So definitely keep on coming. Uh, we can go here. This one was like a slight redesign of this thing. I was to give everybody a bit of context. If you have rated a book, you'd want to see that you rated it and what that book means to you. So let's say you have a book that you really like. Here you see the general info about the book. Um, here you can see the reviews that your friends left. So over here, if one of the friend has this little icon, means they left like a written review, and if not, it only shows the star rating. And for people who haven't reviewed this, it's just their profile pic, so you can see that they've read it. But if you actually rated it, so this is how it looks like when you didn't leave any review. So you can quickly review it from here. Uh, but if you rated it, you would need to, as Adam put it very well, see the details of your rating, right? That's the idea behind it. So, what I was thinking, Adam, because this was the initial one, um, I simplified it just a little bit, or I don't know, reorganized it a little bit. So you would see your rating, and then for the review and details, you'd actually click the drop down and you would get all of these. It would say when you rated it, and then really similar to what you did here, it would show the lists it's on, uh, the format and the dates you read it between, the tags and the history. And here you can see your review, and it would take you to the reviews tab where you could see yours.
Okay.
Um, what
Yeah.
do you think about this?
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I think that kind of covers it all. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah, I
good.
like it.
Yeah, the history was a really, really good one to put over here. I didn't know where to put it, so since you put it here, yeah, that's the perfect place for it. And it's great that it's a drop down, because you would actually just see this, and it would be closable. So you would just see it like this if
Mm-hmm.
you just landed on the book page. I was thinking to give it a margin like you did here, but I don't know. It kind of looks okay this way, and being mobile, I wouldn't want to add like unnecessary padding to it. Do you think it looks good this way?
I'm split on it. I feel like partially having it with like its own like container makes it clear it's like part of like your data, but maybe that's not a maybe that's not an issue like that people will have.
Well, let me just like, put it here so we can see it. Yeah, I don't mind the container. I mean, it looks okay. This would be how you'd see it when it's collapsed, and or is it the other way around? Yeah, when it's yeah, collapsed and expanded, and this would be how you'd see it when it's expanded. We have the available from 6 sellers button on top, so yeah, this would work.
Yeah.
We can leave it like this if you like it better.
Yeah, I think I prefer it with the little color area around it. I was
Okay.
I was I was experimenting with other colors, like what if we use other colors there, but nothing looked right besides like our grayscale.
Yeah, well, that's for background. Yeah, when you add color to it, it just like is too much
Yeah.
in most cases, if not all cases. So yeah, over here, I think we'd have to like render the tags with a different color, because they would have this color, or
Mm,
we could maybe add a stroke to them. Yeah, that would actually maybe work. So the stroke would be like this. And yeah, it would be universal. I can add it to like the tag component.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
And one thing I was trying to do, but I kind of failed at, or I didn't know how to, was like the little circles in the history section, drawing like a little line between them.
Oh, so yeah, gotcha. Okay. So maybe, yeah, it's because it has an auto layout. So with auto layouts, it's both a blessing and a curse. So if I do this, I copied the style. So I'm just gonna position it, making sure that I don't put it in the auto layout. So I think if
Okay.
you, what was it? If you hold down, is it option? Nah, it's not option. Yeah, just don't put it in the auto layout, and yeah, you can just do this.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's kind of like a timeline, so it's really nice. Okay, and then we go into the similar books, and then the series. I put the series here. I think it's a good idea, and the idea of showing the book, the current book that's in the series in the center. Maybe I should like place the actual book. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're viewing this book, yeah, it can be in the center by default, and this is scrollable, and the numbers of the books in the section would be underneath.
Yeah. Works for me. Uh, one of the things we were chatting about last week was that concept of like putting things over the covers versus putting them below it or off to the
Hmm.
side. Any thoughts on yeah positioning
Yeah,
on those? Like
what
it's
if it's it like this? I wouldn't mind, but yeah, maybe it can clash with the maybe on top. Let's see.
one one idea I had for it. I can try it on one of these. Was like if it was
Yeah, just
like
go ahead. Yeah.
kind of like over here, but then this was like uh
Oh, okay, gotcha. So it was kind of like a wait. Yep, that's it. Okay, that's nice. Okay, yeah, let's do the
so
let's do it for
it
all of
almost
them.
looks like a little bookmark or something coming out of it.
Yeah, that's nice. If it's just for numbering stuff, I guess that's great. I'd use the same component, so or maybe yeah, maybe we can create a new component just for this. But if we have other cases where we can reuse it, yeah, this looks nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
we can probably have like the list component, but we can also like pass in like another component into the list component, which is like the identifier. And then on prompts, we pass in like a prompt identifier. On series, we pass in like a series identifier. And then that knows how to render that like top part.
yeah, that's perfect. I'd also use it on prompts. So for the voting, to show the ranking, maybe we can use the same one
Yeah.
just to have consistency. It's gonna help down later down the line. So yeah,
And
this
we could probably also use it for ranked lists since you can create a list that you have like sorted in a specific order.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, 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 I like that. Yeah, and this one I actually use the gradient. It looks better. So it fades to this color and
Mm,
it creates like the illusion of a shelf right here, and this would be scrollable. Um, I'm hoping we can use the what's it called, the CSS. When it locks in, uh, what
mm-hmm.
was scroll snap? Yeah, scroll snap, but for mm, horizontal scrolling. I'll research how to do that. I think it's possible even with Tailwind. So yeah, that should be good.
Yeah. 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 I like the scroll snap of it. And I have a feeling we could do this whole list component with like a what's it called, like virtualized tables, um, kind of like we do for the feed, but probably it can be we can use the like tan stack one instead of the one we used because
Nice.
like a list might have 1,000 books on it, but we only want to render like the three that are showing
Mm-hmm.
or four that are showing. I think that's
Oh,
one of the
and
reasons
then
why our
load
list
the.
page is slow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Would you be able to like load them progressively? So if you have 1,000 books, you'd be able to like scroll this. Wait, I forgot I was in Figma. To scroll this like however much you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, yeah, that'd be
And
really neat.
that way, like even that, I think one of your mockups had like a something where it said like top 50 books from a list. We probably
Yeah.
could get away with not even having that and just showing all the books
Mm-hmm.
if we did
Yep,
that.
showing top 50 books. Here it is.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, look at this. I do it the same on desktop. So I do this, and here we go. Yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. Yeah, and then after this, by the way, I didn't know where to put the flag button, so I just put it in here. I think I sat for like 15 minutes trying to position it in here, but nah, I think that's like locked. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm
flag
good having
button.
that at the bottom. Like it's gonna be the least used thing on the page. At
Yeah,
least
well,
it should be.
hopefully. Yeah. I tried to not give it. I mean, I put it here, but it seemed to like be less important than everything that's in here. So yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's good to hear. And then I followed your suggestion to make a minimized version
Mm,
of the actual. Where is it? Ah, here we go.
the
The
header,
actual
yeah.
book. So
That looks really
the
cool.
Yeah, it has the book button. Yeah, it was those were like really good suggestions. So we keep this. If we can make it into like a smooth transition, it would be like super neat to just have the title animate and yeah, have the book cover.
Yeah, like move up to it, kind of like as you click to a different tab, it like zooms up and
Yep.
yeah, that would be really neat.
Yeah, I
I
think we can do that with Framer Motion. It should be good.
yeah, the animate presence thing in Framer Motion just feels like magic.
Okay, that's good. Okay, you already researched it, so that's nice. Perfect. Yeah,
And then
and
if you went from this page back to the book page, it would like blow it up bigger too.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be neat. That would feel like really, really good. And I'm hoping we can use the same interaction for other stuff, but if we use this for the book page, because we can get the color in and yeah, everything that should be like really nice. I made the same for editions and for yeah, the actual like single edition. And here it can have like a number associated with the page you're on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's like a little more context so you know kind of where you are within the
Hmm.
that book. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the filters, so for these ones, there were a bunch. So let me bring up your comment because it was good. So it's the flare. Uh, I was thinking, not this. Um, we can actually either put them like this or yeah. Do you think the filters would need to be any more complicated than this, or could we? I mean, the question is a different one. Should we put them in a horizontal container that you can scroll sideways, or should we try to make them like we have them on the list page, pretty compact?
Mm,
There's gonna be a lot of filters. That's my worry, but I can try to, uh, yeah, do all of
yeah.
these.
Yeah, I'm wondering yeah, there's that was one like I had some struggle with trying to figure out a good option for it myself because I feel like the most common things for me might not be the most common things for how someone else would filter their reviews, but also don't want to make it so confusing that people get overwhelmed and don't use it at all. Um,
Yeah, that's yeah. That those are my exact worries. I'm thinking. I mean, I'd put like the most used options a tap away, so you wouldn't have to, uh, mm, they would kind of work like tags. So if you would want to see reviews from friends first, you'd click from friends. If you wanna sort them by match score, yeah, you'd click match score. But yeah, that's pretty complicated. I mean, that's the simple one, but it's pretty complicated because it leaves out all the other things. So uh, yeah,
yeah,
that's a
yeah, because like the other options were things like which of these reviews have like a video attached to them, and
mm,
how we like
yeah.
showcase those like media reviews. And
Hmm.
that would, I could see that being like one of the high level like filters.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'll figure that out
Yeah,
because that definitely needs to be there. So maybe just a sorting and filter and showing it in a way that, the default is what most people would want to see, but you can set it so it shows what you want to see first.
yeah. And it could, another option is that it's two buttons, one that's has like a sort icon and then whatever's being sorted by. So like a sort icon with a um, reader match would be like the default. That way it's sorting,
Hmm.
and then like filter, and then filter. It doesn't say filter. It says like from friends, and it has like a filter icon. And then if you expand it, you can change it to
Oh yeah, yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah,
so
so
it's
it doesn't say filter. Yeah, I was even wondering if we could uh remove this or hide it under something. Uh, would maybe this be a good case to bring up the drawer? So on mobile, you would actually have all these in a drawer, all the stuff from your comments. So you'd have for sorting, if you tap the sorting icon, you'd be able to select all of the options. If you click the uh, from friends slash filter icon, you would see all the options in the uh, book drawer that we're using for
yeah,
the book button.
yeah. I think that would be a good way of doing it.
Okay. I think generally, like the book drawer on desktop would turn into a popover, and on mobile, it would turn into the book drawer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense to me. And
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna add an extra screen with that. And another thing I just left uncommented, but we can talk about it now. I was thinking, like, how on Letterboxd, the reviews that are like really short and witty are like the most engaging and the smartest. So I was thinking, what if we put an optional field for the review title or like headline that would be like a
mm-hmm.
glimpse into the review or a summary. So uh, you'd write like the intro, and then because for reviews we have a lot of like text usually, just have it yeah, underneath, or if not, it would just show the actual text. But
Yeah, I was thinking about that for progress updates as well, like, or just discussions in general. It's like discussions without a title are hard to enter into, and these are effectively discussions about a book.
Mm-hmm.
um, so in that sense, yeah, I like the idea of having a title for an optional title for a review.
Okay, okay, yeah, for reviews, yeah, it makes sense, and maybe even for discussions as well. Uh, yeah, that's good. Let's leave it like that, and if we decide to not do it, we can just take it out. But for these, maybe it could be nice.
Yeah, and for uh for these reviews too, when you I was thinking like if you click on them, it would go to like a dedicated page for a review, and
Mm-hmm.
then that would have like a share option to share the review too, which
Yeah,
is
exactly. Mm-hmm.
something I always forget to add whenever I'm building stuff. Is like, oh, people want a way to share this, and on a mobile app, you can't just copy the URL.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. We should put like oh crap, I almost forgot about that. Here we go. We should put because now that we luckily have a mobile app, it brings up that issue that you aren't able to just copy paste the URL. So if you wanna, yeah, let's do this. Let me just make this bigger and get the icon for the URL. What was it? Yeah, just put the URL icon next to the title.
Yeah,
Uh,
like a it would be like a good share. Like there's the share three dots thing that I see some places, but I don't usually associate that with sharing the same way I associate other share icons.
yeah, it can be the link. So it can be this,
Oh yeah,
maybe. Because you're just like grabbing the link instead of, and it can be here. I don't know. I'll just leave it here and maybe we can reposition it, but just for me to not forget because, yeah, there's no way of sharing stuff while you're in the app. So,
yeah. It could also be like up here,
yeah, why not?
but I don't know. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's actually a better place for it, maybe. And when you tap it, it would just copy the link.
Yeah, just copy it to the clipboard.
Yep, we could bring up a toast and that's it. Okay, cool. Whew, that's sorted. Uh, we should, yeah, be able to put that on the profile page as well and everywhere in general. um, and that's where this yeah, maybe we can make this whole thing a clickable area so that this icon is just like an indicator that there's more, but the actual like area where you can tap it would be like all over it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's better. I wouldn't make it like too big because it can take a lot of space, and I wanted to get it in line with the actual text that was like the idea, so it has the same height as yeah, let's say the N. It's a little bit bigger still, but yeah, it would have been like too small to click it. So I was thinking to add padding and a negative margin so that the actual space around it is bigger, so it's like this or something.
Mm-hmm.
But if we make the whole area tappable, I think people are gonna just learn that right away.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
and
this is good
one of the
for this.
things one
Yeah.
of the things that just came to mind for these reviews is um, maybe showing the date of the review somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, true. Um, by the way, what's our date format? Is this our date format?
Uh, right now, we use a locale string function, so it's a different date format if you're in the UK or in the US.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I'd put it in a place where maybe we can like hide it so that if the review is less than 3 rows, you can see this. But if it's more than 4 rows, you see it at the end. So part of the expanded text, or I don't know. Do you think
Oh
it's
yeah.
like very important,
Hmm.
or I mean, to me, it's not that important, but it might be too important. I
I, I
wouldn't like.
think I think about like, someone scrolling through Instagram and accidentally liking Instagram picture from like 3 years ago. And like if
Okay.
people would feel like that if they were liking reviews that were like years old. And maybe we want them to, but maybe we want to give them the option to make that decision for themselves.
Yeah, true. Then I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna put the date here, and what else can we put here so that it's
Well, we could always use this spot to do avatars of readers,
yeah, that's true.
but
Uh
it might be more confusing since we already, yeah, maybe not actually. I think I think there's already enough avatars on here.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maybe some piece of info, but what else would be interesting to have here? So the date and
Well,
maybe a metric, like
I saw your other prototype farther down had some other metrics about the user.
oh yeah, it was. You mentioned badges, so I just put some stuff in here and a supporter like flare, and I made it like really small, so it doesn't say supporter. It's just an S, and the border of the avatar is also orange. So I was thinking that could be like a good indication, uh, but maybe well this would have to be associated with the profile name. So
Yeah.
yeah, let me just edit this one because I think this is the final one. I just copied it, so we have the top one as well. So if we have the date, maybe we can put some more context on this. So I don't know, badges or something. Uh, the idea is that this would mean that this reader is in the top, let's say, 50 sci-fi readers on hardcover. So we need to like basically make that into like something visual.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, how do we show that this person has read a lot of sci-fi books when they gave this review, or just in general? Uh,
Yeah, I was thinking just to like make these, I mean, have just a visual indication. So, okay, this is someone who has like, this would be relevant to the review. So, this person has a lot of sci fi and horror reviews. So, they're like, uh,
one, oops, one, one idea I had around this was to have something like, um, let's see, uh, where we show like,
oh, the
um,
number.
yeah, so we show like the number of books they've read in that genre within the little badge.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
So it's less about like the badge level and more about like the underlying achievement.
Yeah, that'll work. Could be like this. Here we go. Yeah, and that could actually, if it's in that format, that could actually sit here. So let me grab the icon from this one. So yeah, this user has, a reader has 234 sci-fi reviews, and
Yeah,
that
yeah,
could work.
that could be cool. Yeah.
It's an
And
interesting way of using the badge system. I'll just put this here.
yeah, I think like I proto or I like did some stuff in my journal about how we could get this, and I think it would be really easy. We kind of could just cache like a little genre stats object on every user, and then when we show the review, we look into that object and just show whatever is relevant to the book review that is currently being viewed. That way, it's like, if you're viewing Great Gatsby, you're not going to see that they've read 234 fantasy books. You're going to see that they've read, 180 classics or whatever.
Okay. Ah, that's nice. That's neat. Yeah, I mean that's how these could work, and they wouldn't even be. I mean, they would be closer to stats than badges, but they would like inherently be badges
Yeah,
because if you reviewed like, okay, that's really nice. Okay, that would balance out the date, so I'm good from a like design point of view.
yeah, yeah. It's looking
Okay,
good.
yeah. And for additions, took your advice and made them into uh yeah, things you'd actually feel like you need to tap. So you move on to the book edition, to yeah, the actual edition page, and you can switch to that edition.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. These edition pages, I feel like I don't yet know how people are going to use them other than as like a source of information. Like, so I'm good kind of keeping it like this, and then as we if it comes out that we need more information on this edition page, like we need you know rating for this edition or lists for this specific edition, then we can, I think, figure that out down the line. But
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah,
now,
I
just
always
data.
found it confusing. I know Goodreads does different uh, ratings for different editions, and we would basically associate the rating with the edition, at least as like a single like individual read, right?
Yeah, well, it's right now. um you can read through a book multiple times, but you can only rate it. You can read through a book multiple times with different editions each time, but your rating is for the concept of that book, not for a specific edition of it.
Mm-hmm. I
But there
think
is
that.
still the edition that you did read, so we could still, like, you know go into the data and see that even though the rating for the book is this, we could say like this edition has a higher rating than all the other editions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems. I mean, it's a bit complicated for like us to, I guess, really delve into it. And I think from my point of view, like just reviewing a book and not reviewing that edition would be more helpful for other readers as well. Of course, you might like rate an audiobook less because you don't like the narration, let's say.
Mhm.
But I think you would, uh, from a design perspective or else from a usability perspective, that would rather be mentioned as part of your comment rather than having like that audiobook rated. So let's say you'd normally rate the book because it's a good book, 4 stars, and you listen to the audiobook, you hate the narration, so it's a 3 star. I think it
Yeah,
would be more relevant for people to see how you like the book, and if you had something, if something was wrong with the narration, you just mention it as part of your review. So written instead of letting people guessing, why did they leave that review? I think it's more relevant. So
yeah. I I'd agree. Like, I I also wonder, like, as you were saying that, I was wondering if we need to indicate like what format or what edition they read in their review. Like we'll know like what edition they've marked here.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's not here in the like the small review. Maybe that's actually, let me go down to this one. Maybe that's not
Yeah,
here. Maybe that's like when you click on this and it goes to the standalone page. Maybe on that standalone page we can say the edition that they read.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'll mock it up. Yeah, exactly. When you go to that individual review, you can see the actual edition that they've read. I find it like there's quantifiable data and like qualitative data, and that qualitative data is like finding out why someone liked the book. So I'd rather for us to skew in that like direction instead of being just like a quantity website, which is kind of like how Goodreads approaches it. So there's the rating, and we're more granular with the rating, and we're also like trying to get people to say why they like the book instead of you know a 4.3 rating doesn't tell you much, but a review that says the narration is crap, and you see, or it's really good, and you see that that person reviewed a lot and is a supporter, and they have lots of good reviews, you're way more likely to trust that, and that's what we want, for
Yeah.
people to say why they liked something.
Yeah. They're not someone who just came into the platform, reviewed one book, and this is it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, just get into the like details. We want people to like be discussing books and offering other people like these like details, even for editions. Yeah. Okay. And over here, yeah, because it's like it has this cover that you can change. I mean, we can keep the like actual designs you're working on, but I was assuming that the header could like disappear here because you'll have a cover underneath it. So
Mm,
I don't know. Or you
yeah.
can just say upload new cover and it would be like this.
Yeah. Let me, I, can I show you something that I was doing for this edit thing?
Yeah.
It's,
Wait, let me stop sharing. Here we go.
it's, so the use case for how, like what can happen when you're changing an edition's cover, there are like a couple different options. Let me just share my screen and then we can talk through them. And I'll do this one. Go. Cool. So this is a very basic representation, but the idea is, you know, this is the cover that has already been selected for this book. And we'll have some kind of formula to determine if this is like a good quality cover, a bad quality
Okay.
cover, or like a
Mm-hmm.
okay quality cover. That way people can see really quickly whether we think this is good. But if you want to change the cover, there's kind of a couple different options on what can happen. Um, one option is that you can upload a new cover. Another option is that you can select one of the existing covers that we've already saved for this book.
Okay. Are these covers from other editions or?
Ideally, this should only be for this edition, but I think uh, the way that our data is, sometimes multiple editions end up getting books from neighboring editions. So I think our data will get better to the point where this is just for this exact edition. So ideally, these would all look very similar, just with different heights and widths and clarity. So it'd probably mostly look like these three all for this one, and these ones wouldn't even be here.
Okay, well, this looks good. and it's like really
But
complete, I guess, from an
yeah,
editing point of view.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep like cleaning it up and making it like, actually look better. But I was just trying to come up with a user flow that made sense for changing a cover when you had kind of two options on what to change it to.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's, I mean, I'm suspecting the use case here would be someone sees a book that they really like and the cover is really low quality. So they're saying, okay, crap, I'm gonna make this book better. So they go into the editing flow for that edition and they search for a photo online, they upload it as a new cover. Do we have a upload limit that's like, I don't know, less than 1 megabyte or something, just to not like crash our, I'm guessing we do, right?
um, I'll probably set it at like 5 megabytes and maybe even 10 megabytes for this because you could upload a really big scan of it, and when we upload the file, we're going to optimize it anyways. So the
Okay.
JPEG that we save that people are going to start viewing is going to be a lower file size version, anyways.
Smart. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah. So I guess this is the use case. So having those options already there, I'm guessing would be great. But as books get better, I mean, if it's a high quality cover, I'm guessing people would just like not change it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was
That's good.
probably I was probably going to try to get this like edit covers out to completion rather than trying to do like every single field possible. And that way, like we'll get this out and then we can add more fields to it later.
Yeah, this sounds
Yeah.
good. Covers are like, if we nail the covers, the rest of the fields should be like easy.
Yeah.
And we've already got people who are lining up to edit the info, so that's really good. And we'll do it ourselves as well, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Great. Well, lots of progress.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, every time I see the new book pages, I'm like excited to use them as a user, which is I think a really good sign. Like I want
Yeah.
to be able to browse those reviews in that way, and I want to be able to just like explore around within a book in a in that way.
Yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah, I'm also like excited to get this out, and they're close. I mean, I think we have a couple of details uh, to nail down, but other than that, they should be like really really good.
Yeah. And then yeah, once we get the mobile and desktop prototypes done, um, we can probably do, like you said, like a handful of interviews and just see what people think. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great. That's great. I'll do the desktop ones. Those should be easy. If you start from mobile, desktop should be easy. Uh, but yeah, it's close.
sweet.
Great.
Well,
Awesome. Well, on that note, we wrap up hardcover number 9.
yeah, sounds good. I'm gonna go. I think we're gonna go see John Wick this afternoon, so I'm excited
Oh,
about that.
really? Okay. Ah, that's on my list as well. Yeah, we started a new Netflix series called Beef, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like really good. Have you seen it?
we just finished it last night.
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, it's really, really good. Really nice.
Yeah, it's.
Super exciting.
I was watching a TikTok about it, and they were classifying it the genre as millennial existentialism, and I'm like, okay, that
Uh-huh.
sounds about right. I like
Yeah.
that genre.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. One for us. That's good.
Cool.
Well,
Well,
yeah. Well, happy viewing and yeah, keep
talk
in
to you
touch.
soon.
Later. Bye bye.
Bye. See ya.